show. Yeah, actually, that would be great. Our transparency thing.
No problem. We can move
TV show I've ever dreamed of.
I'm missing Wojtek though.
got like 3 viewers.
Yeah.
Wojtek is trying to pop in. Oh yeah, Yitter went to 2 as well. So I guess we just have to at least have one of those guys.
I'm just catching up on things I had on my list to see if they're still important. We're gonna get some food. You guys gonna be in here?
We do have free food here.
At the restaurant?
Yeah, I want this thing right here. Just if you want.
Okay.
So you know.
That starts at 7.
Yeah.
Okay.
It starts at whatever time is on that wall.
Okay. Okay.
We is just you. Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, perfect. Because I need Wojtek. Don't say that. You should eat. Yeah. Are you going all the way?
10-hour flight.
Oh yeah.
I got a shower.
Just well done. And if you ever need some ham,
We've got plenty of ham in the back of the room.
there is a lake.
The ham smell, it's not us. It's that
I didn't smell anything.
It comes out of the
Ham smell is not.
Ham.
It's a Spanish thing.
Well, I know ham is a Spanish thing.
A pig made it special for us.
Do we again have no sound?
Yeah.
pretty good.
We'll decide
What time do you want?
Okay.
What time do you
Oh,
want?
Bowen is there.
Be right back.
Hey, Bowen.
Is that reviewing my stuff? No.
Yeah.
Did you make it after
Yeah,
all?
actually,
I think
yeah,
Griff muted you.
Okay.
1 second.
So I'll go.
No, we're mute. Bowen is there, I think. That's Bowen thingy.
Hey,
What's up?
Whoa.
Hey.
Good morning. When's that? Yeah. Hey, Bowen, sorry.
it just needs to be closer.
Yeah. Did you can make it after all because you're the only one on the call, I think, which is perfect.
Oh, you know.
Yeah. And you're like on a speaker very loud, which is fun to see.
Oh, everybody else is already there, right?
Yeah, everyone else is here. So,
Yeah.
and everyone who's not here couldn't make it on the call today, so perfect. You're with us in the room now.
Awesome.
Okay, so we're gonna start.
What can I unplug?
Well, you can unplug not me. Maybe Kai? I don't know.
No, I shouldn't unplug that.
Never know.
Let's see what's
I'm
this.
not plugged in. So
Never ask me.
What is this?
it's
But it should
looks
last
like some
now.
sort of
Griff,
power
Griff,
source.
you have enough battery. It's
It's
okay.
attached to this.
It's almost
this laptop.
charged.
Is your laptop charged?
Griff,
Yeah.
you have enough battery. It's
Uh,
free. I see it. It's free for its charge. It charges really quickly.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
The video doesn't pop up for like 5 minutes, but if you go to my video, my live stream or whatever.
It has a very long delay set, so
Yeah.
it we're sure
Which live stream are you talking about?
It's
On
on Giveth
YouTuber.
Yeah, but Bowen, are you going to be around for the next like couple hours? You hang out. You, just so you know, you're on a big screen right now, like projector. It's just your awesome.
Really?
Yeah,
Good
yeah,
idea.
and it's just you. And honestly, I'd love to keep you here for like the next couple hours if that's possible.
Yeah, I can be here until 12:30.
What time is it now?
9:30. Well, 9:40.
Oh,
I got
nice. That's perfect.
Everybody has to work this evening, right? Bowen has to work in a bit, so he can normally stay for 3 hours or something if I understood directly from our conversation.
Yeah,
The thing I have to do is the triple check thing, but that's supposedly later.
that's after this comms meeting, I think.
But for the moment it says incentives and then triple check.
Yeah, we're probably gonna kind of do both at the same time.
Okay.
The video doesn't pop up for like 5 minutes, but if
Perfect.
you go to
Okay, then we're gonna jump in
my live stream.
at the
It
top.
has a very long delay
Have
set,
we
so
started?
it It's not. I have an audio. I don't know what's going on here.
That.
Oh, maybe I don't. Is it working? What do you say?
I don't see it. Oh wait. Live stream or whatever.
It has a very long delay set. So.
Bowen, but you're the only person, so.
Oh. Ha ha ha.
Found it?
We're sure.
Which live stream are you talking about?
It's on here. Give it
YouTube. Yeah.
Okay. So
I
yeah.
stopped it though, and started it again.
This is streaming.
Yeah, but is the sound working?
Honestly, I'd love to keep.
Then we're streaming. Yes, welcome.
Okay, then we can start. Yay. Okay, so DAppNode. So we start. Maybe let's skip check-in, except for Bowen. Bowen, how have you been? What are your intentions?
My intentions are to have a good meeting. I a ton of stuff on my plate for you guys, and I'm like a bit of rich.
You have a bit of a bad connection, Bowen.
Oh, I said wanted to have a good meeting, and only distracted a little bit by a sore throat.
Okay, that's fine.
It's not okay.
Okay, cool. So let's. So our check-in is that we've been checked in for a few days, and got a lot of work done. And so we come from another meeting straight. So we'll try to. Our distraction might be focus in general, but we'll try to do this well. So first, start with the social coding projects. Update on DAppNode. Who can give us an update on DAppNode?
Who better than Edu?
Oh yeah.
Edu, can you tell us about what's going on with DAppNode?
For communication specifically.
Well, communication. Well, we are waiting for the branch things because we need some law or some things to create the website. When we have that, maybe we're gonna start to make some medium posts or something like that. The Lord is helping us a lot with the DAppNode thing. Yeah, for now we are waiting to spread the word of DAppNode. We are waiting to have more branding or more thing, at least the alpha version of the DAppNode. So.
And do you have any date for when the alpha will be coming out? Approximately?
I would like to have it before Toronto, but I'm not sure if it's possible.
Okay, well that's soon. Yeah. So yeah, and the other thing that I noted during Jordi's explanation for this is that the DAppNode can only be decentralized as lots of people use it. So we need, specifically for DAppNode, I think we need a lot of communication and a good plan for that one, if I get it correctly.
Yeah, I think Taylor can talk about our idea of communication of DAppNode. I think it's a good thing. Taylor is working on that. DAppNode.
Where am I?
You're here. That's the camera.
Hi.
And there as well.
Everyone, and Bowen, hi. Me and Edu were doing some brainstorming last week, looking at King Flurkle's kind of GitHub milestones. He does this fun like Swarm City, or Swarmison, which is like a TV episode. And we were thinking about how we can kind of adapt that. And we came up with this really loose concept called Escape from Centraland. And it's a way of creating stories from your milestones. We want to build it out a little bit more and basically make it into a storyline where we are, the DAppNode is a prisoner, trapped in centralization. And all the people on the DAppNode team they're in the prison as well, you know, and they're building this thing together. There's tunnels to escape from Centraland. And we want to make it something so it's like the symbols are representative of things that are actually happening in the DAppNode team and milestones that are actually being hit. So we could use the technical information that comes from the DAppNode team to create a storyline that follows roughly the progress milestones that the DAppNode team is making. And then we transpose that onto characters in the story. And this is still very loose, but we just have some fun with it. And we made a few test stories, me and Edu. and they were great. I think they were amazing. So if we can build something out, King Flurkle has also expressed interest in helping us. So I'm really excited to see how this goes and to just start brainstorming. And obviously we're also open to have everyone throw in their thoughts and opinions and creative sides as well. So it's the beginning, but it could be a great way for us to express the complicated aspects of what's happening with DAppNode in a really human way through a storyline and narrative.
Nice. We bring some craziness.
Wow, that's
in
awesome.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah. We bring some Yeller craziness into DAppNode. I like it. It's another it's a DAppNode galaxy.
It's a galaxy.
A galaxy. Okay, cool. So that is coming up. DAppNode article. So that's one that you were gonna work on, Bowen, right?
Yes, the Yelda one is done. I'm just waiting for her to release a white paper because she asked, can we wait for that to happen for that? And I said, sure. I have like 2 pages with Flurkle done, and I was just going over it with Oz after the meeting yesterday. And so that looks like I'm just gonna polish that, and I should have that done probably this afternoon. So that's done, and then I'll get on doing one for DAppNode. So I'll get the questions off to the people in question, so we can at least get a text dialogue going before there's a necessity to actually speak to anybody about it. Because I think if I know what to ask, you know, after I get a chunk of info, then it'll be it's turned out the easiest way to do it. So so that's next in the pipe for me to work on after I finish this the one right before it that I just said.
Okay. Perfect. So no, makes sense. So Flurkle done reviewing with Oz for Ethcan, and DAppNode is the next one on the list. The one with Yalda is on hold until the white paper is released. And Yalda just got into the room.
Hi.
Okay, so
Yes, hopefully in the next week is what I'm trying to say. Or by the weekend. That's my goal.
by the weekend or next week if you didn't hear it, Bowen. Okay, up to the next one. That's already so social coding community role. That is Yeller. I don't know if there's. This is.
We're kind of on pause right now with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was that again? The overview of tasks.
It was going over what that looks like and actually setting up a talk with Griff, I think, to see what we want the intake to look like and how we can make it more structured for people that come and they're not just contributors, they want to actually connect their funds to us, like CDM and the other one that's giving us a percentage.
No, but this was social coding specifically.
Oh, I thought you said the
social coding community role.
Social coding community role.
That's definitely not on hold.
That's what I've been doing. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a different thing. So the social coding community role is at this point helping to organize the projects and just provide support in essence. We in Quasi have continued talking about what a project master or a scrum master, because I like that word scrum, looks like, and how it can help just to provide a little clarity to people who aren't in the circles or aren't in the projects. We can see where people are at, what the progress milestones are, and how we can help them move forward and over blocking issues. So that's an ongoing conversation, and we had a great meeting last week, the social coding sync meeting, and we will be having another one in 2 weeks, the day before EdCon starts, and it is open to everyone in social coding circle.
Yeah, it was really a great meeting. So it's nice to see people talking to each other, and that some of the projects that got a bit stuck, that they now have resources, so that's perfect. I have a question actually, because we talked about it just before. If people in the beginning you did Quasia like a sort of onboarding and voting on new projects, and Wojtek said that he had some people with ideas and projects as well. Like, are you gonna do another voting round for new projects who want to onboard? Because since the beginning, nobody has been onboarded anymore.
Yeah, so this month is the first month we didn't do that, mostly because last month when we had that meeting, it was basically it was the same projects that we had been having. So I'm sort of trying to rethink how that, like, you know, engine works, or how that onboarding, like, stream should be functioning. I'm not sure that the brainstorming thing is good. My one concern, and like this is sort of a repeated concern, is like, I don't want it to just be new projects from people inside of Giveth. I think that it's a lot easier to come to a community and start integrating with a community if you feel like from day one you're being heard, and what you want to build is, like, I don't know, heard, and it has a place for you to talk about that. So I guess the short answer is, I'd like there to be a process like that, but I don't think that the process that we were going through is going to work long term. So we need to look into more, like, how we, like, in general, how a project gets started. I thought it was really interesting hearing what Jared had to say for status, about how they sort of do this, like, ideas thing. And it was interesting too, because there were so many parallels with what I was trying to do. Like, I had the idea of, like, you know, 2, he requires 3, you know, and the same challenges that he was having. It's like, it's really easy to get buy-in from the person who has the idea, but if you're requiring them to have 2 or 3 people on the team, it's hard to get buy-in from the second and third person. So how do you set up some sort of incentive structure where people are coming forward, they're getting projects, they're getting 2 or 3 people to sign on to their projects, and those people that don't actually have the initial idea have some sort of, like, stake or something meaty enough for them to hold on to it. So I think it really comes down to basically how, like, I think that if you come up with an idea, I'm rambling at this point, so I'll try and wrap it up. But if you come up with an idea, it's really easy for you to work on that idea for free. It might make sense for the second and third person to have some sort of value-based incentive for working on those projects. So at the same time, anything in this system that you're going to put time into in the Giveth space, you obviously have to think it's worth it, even if you're taking value, because the value is not market value, right? So that, I think, would balance that sort of issue that we're having. But it's still hard to say, like, because then basically what it becomes is who decides which ideas get funding for their second and third members. So I don't know. I guess that's my really short answer to your super concise question.
Yeah, no, but it's an important one, right? Because now, if we want more projects in there, so maybe even if you're not completely happy with the current system, maybe you could do another round until you have something else in place.
Yeah, I'm down to do another round.
I do think you can build on the thing you're doing right now with people dishing points. It's kind of, I mean, maybe rework that in a way that incentive is being distributed this way, that, like, the social coding circle kind of has, like, a way then to allocate resources, because it seems to be an important thing.
If we deployed a leaderboard on testnet, could we just make everybody have a leaderboard?
Yes.
What do you mean, no leaderboard?
For their projects?
Like, so
For
there's
donations?
So there's ETH leaderboard, right?
Yeah.
If it worked with tokens, you could just give everybody a leaderboard and keep points that way.
What do you mean? Oh, give every person a leaderboard, and then, like, I would donate, I'm giving dishing points to this person, so I go and generate a token for them using this leaderboard.
More like project, no?
I mean, either one.
Person project?
I think projects need to take in value. For a point system, I think it's alright for us to use some sort of generated token.
On testnet.
Yeah, on testnet. Like, for me, like the big blocking point for the stuff I want to play with, and the directions that I think we need to start going in with this whole point system, this whole permissionless stuff, it all comes down to the fact that we don't have tokens to play with. We need, like, non-marketed tokens to start screwing with. Ones that, like, turn into value at the end of the month and basically only serve governance purposes. Because those are the interesting tokens. The interesting tokens are the ones that people can never exchange, trade on an exchange.
It is true. Yeah, well,
And
it's
I
just
want to
non-transferable
touch them.
tokens.
Yeah, but not necessarily. Well, okay, so yeah, non-transferable tokens with an exchange or vesting mechanism.
1 second, stop. Hold
Yeah,
your
sorry,
thought.
I'm
no,
like.
no, it's not
off
wrong.
on
It's
the-
very important. But could you mute your mic because Bowen cannot hear us well because Arthur is never picked up by microphones for some reason.
Let me go.
But the sound can stay on because it's this one.
It looks like we will have most of that in place.
What's happening now?
Sorry,
Summon
I
them.
muted, but
Come forth.
it works now. No, I know. That was the problem.
Okay,
I'm muted now.
but your sound is on, and when I use my mic for,
Okay, so you're gonna do sound.
I'm gonna try to switch this.
So what I wanted to say
Sorry.
this is you're describing white hat group functionality. Like I'm pretty sure we have the whole functionality already. Like whatever.
The white hacker tokens.
Yeah. Those are non-transferable tokens, and they're like a merit token that offers like a. Huh? You can explain it better.
No, I was looking for my phone. Keep talking.
But we need to token out reward
can
DAO.
mute.
Is what
The
I'm
what?
saying. We need to do tokens with reward DAO in my mind.
Of course, I'm just saying this part of the functionality we already kind of have. So, but we should take this whole discussion to the table.
Yeah, but I think it's good if you continue that discussion and make it point to like figure out like how can we work on the points. If it's a leaderboard, great. Then you can follow up on that. You're both here still for a day or something.
So,
Yeah, well, Quasi is leaving soon.
it's okay.
But
Yeah, we have open comms.
I have some ideas.
Good, but yeah, it's easier.
Let's not waste Bowen's time here.
I know. So you'll work on
Yeah.
leaderboard.
Yeah, I mean it's
points,
very
dishing-
similar to the whole
Yeah, that's
Oh
what
shit! Hang on,
Yeah.
Bowen.
Not on itself, but just like the reputation system and the
Hang on, I'll reconnect.
incentivizations
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah, we just need to like. I don't think anybody has figured it out, but I also don't think anybody's playing with it yet.
Yeah.
Is it
We just
working
need
now?
to play with something. So
Okay. Yeah. So no, we didn't really miss that much. We were like brainstorming on everything that was leaderboard and points giving and social coding.
Okay, I heard getting garbled in the background, so.
Okay, yeah, it was. We're switching computers for sound, but we're here now. Okay, cool. Next one. Reddit DAO, Reg DAO. Oh yeah, that was a thing that was shared by Kai. A post, and I didn't have the time. Yeah, you come up with crazy ideas. I note them down. It's like there was something about Reg DAO on Reddit that you can. You can link Reddit to Ether points. Something.
Do you mean the threader?
Yeah.
I posted it in random, maybe. Yeah.
Hang on. You posted it in somewhere.
There is. I don't know anything about it.
Let me check. It was a sort of DAO system where you could dish out Ether, and it was linked to Reddit.
Yeah.
And was it something that's relevant for us, or did you just post it?
No, I just posted this for general
It's not so. Registry of Reddit usernames token based on karma. DAO controls token and registry voting by karma.
No, well, just because I thought it was interesting.
Yeah, I haven't read it, so I thought then I'll let
Okay.
you explain.
No.
But it's not something that is useful
No,
for
I
us.
don't
in
think
Giveth?
it was for the individual to. They are building a DAO on Trader, which is interesting. But if people want to have a look, they should.
Okay. Cool. Then sovereign identity. So we come to governance. We come to Griff.
Okay. Well, sovereign identity. A lot of talks with David, who's kind of leading the project right now. Obviously, Jordy is leading the project too, but like, we also talked a lot with Adria this week and Grace, and it's still in the brainstorming period, but we're just pushing that forward. I expect it to be quiet for comms for 2 more months.
Okay. But that's good to know. Then I'll put it on hold. That doesn't mean it's on hold, but it's on hold for comms. So you can still give us updates next time because it's good to just be in the loop on what's happening.
Yeah, absolutely. Here, I can go through this
Yeah,
list now.
I know. Go ahead.
Scaling now, we're publishing the last 2 articles.
And they're done. So Cleo just sent me that they're ready. They're in the list. I can just go ahead and publish. So I'll do that in the next days.
Perfect.
So it's actually done.
Yeah, like they're actually done.
Yeah.
Apply for NIST grant. Well, we're gonna talk more about that with Jorge and Aragon and Luis. We'll see. I mean, Aragon Labs. We just had all this big discussion with Aragon like minutes before this, so I don't know how deep I want to go with that. But basically, we're talking about how we can join forces and try not to duplicate work and even share funds with Argonne. So that'll be really cool. We'll see how that develops. There'll be a lot of development there. And it'll be slow. So I don't think we'll do anything on comms for that for a month either.
No, and that's just so you know, Bowen, because you missed that call. But that's in a nutshell indeed what is happening. That we're gonna work more closely with Aragon.
Most likely. It seems like we have buy-in from the team. I mean,
I heard that bit.
Yeah. I mean, I'm still getting the heat. I'm feeling like everyone seems to be down with that on the team. I haven't seen too much pushback. Everyone seems to love this idea, so.
Or they're just shy and they don't dare to tell.
Yeah, I mean.
Speak now or forever hold your peace.
Yeah.
Well.
Maybe Griff, when you're talking, can you unmute your mic just long enough to
No,
speak?
oh,
I can't hear you when you're talking.
I'll just try to speak into the mic.
Yeah.
Thank you, Bowen. Did you have something to say on that, Wojtek? I almost thought, maybe you were yawning, but I thought you were.
I was yawning, yeah.
Okay. Okay, so then, Argonne Labs, I mean, do you have a question on Argonne at all, Bowen? Might as well loop you in.
I honestly can't hear what you're saying because you're falling into the background.
Use unmute when I'll mute now, and now you can unmute.
Okay.
Because my mic pick is really bad.
Okay, so we have to do both though. I'll take unmute and sound.
Why? If you try now.
We'll see.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead. I'll just mute sound. I'll just mute when you're talking.
Okay, so do you have any questions about Argonne, Bowen, just to loop you in?
Nothing. I was there when you came down and really excited that you told me and a couple of other people what you were looking at doing, and I think it's exciting as hell. And I kind of understand what they're doing. If nothing has changed since that call, I think I know what's happening.
Yeah, the only thing that's changed so far is that we had some discussions about a little bit more detail about what they want to do or what their thoughts are, but honestly I didn't get anything out of that call, so other than everyone loves everybody and we're good.
Great start.
It was the official thing that had to happen. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like we all had to waste an hour of time to feel like we're on the same page.
Our attention points weren't present.
Yeah, well, yeah. But that, I think, whatever. So we'll move on.
I want to talk mobile with them really bad.
What? Mobile?
I want to talk mobile with them really bad.
Well, that's where status comes in. But
Is it?
We'll talk mobile with them in a different meeting.
Yes. Thank you, Chris. Thank you.
I want to derail your meeting.
Balance.io is done? Or is this talking about getting the MetaMask thing?
Balance.io is done. Oh yeah, it was indeed to get it on the leaderboard, and Kai was checking for the to hack the leaderboard. Remember, Kai?
The Balance.io little integration.
We wanted to get the.
Is there any comment on that?
Yeah, you were gonna check to get Balance.io fund the donation we got on our Giveth leaderboard.
You know that widget that's like MetaMask and Ledger?
Yes.
Is there an update
on the leaderboard? No, that was on the donation page, and it's there.
But you were gonna check specifically because the balance one goes away, and you were gonna hack it so it was possible to have the balance donation on our leaderboard as well.
It's not working for the leaderboard.
Oh, are you talking about the full tokens actual donation to Giveth, the 1.3 Ether or whatever?
Oh, that was for sure on me, because I had nothing to do with the action.
No,
yeah, I don't think we can get them on our leaderboard because of the internal transaction.
Okay, but that was really you in the sense that's what I wrote down. Kai will check
because
it.
of the internal transactions, yeah. I mean, I'm constantly rallying for finding a solution, but until open block explorers happen, there is no easy, because, like Kwasi pointed out, it's nice to keep the leaderboard in a state that everybody can just easily deploy it.
You pointed that out.
Yeah,
To
but
me.
you also said it before, like, oh, it would be so nice to do that because that's a nice property. I don't want to lose the property.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to use
It's a leaderboard thing. We're working on it.
So it's probably not going to happen for now to get the balance IO, but balance IO in itself is done. So I'm just still going to thank.
Call it then.
Because I wanted to just thank them online with the leaderboard, but if it's not on there, then I'm just like thank them like this.
Just send a message.
And it's not the guy who gave the 1 ether, that was someone else, so we don't know who gave it, but it's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Brave payments, I don't know. I haven't talked with Joshua at all. Is anyone on top of that, do you know?
It was check random.
It says Kai and Joshua.
Yeah, I will put it on my list. I forgot about it.
Yeah. Okay.
It's not the biggest priority, but it's cool.
They save it anyway, so there's nothing lost.
Kenya donation integration. Man, I really need to check in with them. I'll send them a message like after this.
Okay.
But they should be doing something about that, and they should be sending us money real soon. Decentral planning, Burning Man kind of is derailed a little bit. I need to like actually select the next people and add them to the camp, and haven't done that. Also need to like hunt down people and tell them to
pay.
To pay, yeah. So that's where that's at. And then District OX is on hold. Donations page.
Oh yeah, and Kai is gonna work on a leaderboard for Decentral. That was also on the list from last week.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Can you clarify? You pay first and then get accepted?
No, you get accepted
and then pay.
Okay.
And you're going
Otherwise
to
you get kicked out.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like I don't want to accept anyone until they say that they actually want to come, or I put their feet to the fire. They have to put down 1 ether, or find a place to like contribute.
Got it.
Okay, so donations page we already talked about just now, I think. So we'll skip that. EdCon presentation.
No,
tomorrow?
we didn't. So we did and we didn't. So for that, Yaler was gonna sync with Kai to work on a little sentence to integrate the link up the leaderboard with the donations page.
We will sync this weekend.
You guys sync.
He will make that commit. That's like so Yale will make the commit.
Yaler will do that.
I will commit
Because
on,
Kai-
on GitHub. I can commit to make the sentence.
You can commit to make the sentence.
Kai can commit to help commit.
I committed to help you commit.
Oh my
Yeah,
God,
totally.
you guys are.
So meta.
Okay, next. Go ahead.
Next EdCon presentation. I mean,
It's pure fun, but it's delicious.
that's what I want. Oh yeah, I love it. EdCon presentation, you and Wojtek are doing it, and you're doing a demo practice tomorrow morning?
No, we're not. We're not that far just yet. No, well we could, but I don't think it's gonna be. It could help if you want to write it out.
Yeah, I mean we could try one.
Yeah.
I know that tomorrow morning doesn't break for you, so I'll get an 8 and I'll like rehearse it a few times.
Yeah. If tomorrow morning is at 11 or 12, I'm fine. Yeah.
What time do you fly out?
It's 6.
Oh, nice. Okay,
But
well,
it means that like 3 of these.
yeah,
I'm gonna check in.
yeah, of course. Well, I still hope that you two can go over that at least once or twice.
Yeah, but we're working on it in a sense. The first step is that we're building, like everyone is committed in the group to write down the story in a sheet, in a Google sheet, so that we have content. And then Wojtek is gonna be a story so that we have a deck, a campaign, and a few milestones.
Why wouldn't we use the deck we have?
Which deck we have? The Giveth
Giveth.
deck.
Yeah.
Because the idea was that we want to build like, okay, this is a demo with, in a demo we put all sorts of, this is what Giveth is gonna be, with all sorts of altruistic communities. Why not?
Why not just use what we have?
Because
I'm thinking the same, yeah.
Yeah,
No,
show off
It
what
is
we
the
have.
that's
Let's show
what
off
it's
Giveth.
yeah.
wouldn't-
Why
I
show
really
off a
wouldn't.
dream when we can show off what we
No,
have?
no. Okay, let me explain. The reason that I prefer to also create a demo leaderboard and we have the stories. I have one about South America. You have the one about Manon. We have at least 2 others lying around. It's just putting it in there that we can use this demo content in the future as well for other people. And we explain like, okay, this is how you create one. You accept some, you propose some, which we're not going to do in the real Giveth DAC, or we could, but why would we? We just play around with it in the demo content, and then at the end we say, hey, we switch to the other tab and we show, but this is not a dream, this is actually working. This is the entire Giveth ecosystem on with all the campaigns, all the things, and then we show it. But if you start just with Giveth, then it's a bit meta. It's like we've built all the system, and for someone who doesn't know it's us, it's gonna be like, oh, so you're building a system for yourself. It's more tangible if you say we want to build solar panels for this thing and for that and for that, and not give it
Well,
the AC for ourselves.
We can do DAP node.
But
I mean, you could show off DAP node, and DAP node needs some good prep. It's supposed to be a push. We're supposed to make a big push for DAP node in NCon anyway.
well, we could mention that node as well, but you get the point that if you have some real, some real non-technical things on there as well.
Some
but
really
like this-
charity stuff.
Yeah.
Who's our audience?
Our audience also wants to understand what Giveth is about, and not that we're doing this for technical projects
I
only.
have to
But
say,
they're
having a good set of demo data is good. It's good
Well,
for
that's-
screenshots. It's good for video recording.
That's what
It
I
is.
said, but
Yeah.
okay, I think we can just decide. So, anyways, I'm going to try tomorrow. Do a script. It doesn't matter if I'm talking about saving children or
Yeah.
you
The
know, like
functionality is
doing
good.
that. Yeah, have notes. It's the same thing, right?
But I completely agree with your point that you want to show what's really exists, and that's what Vortex said to me as well. But we can do that. But then for really showing, and okay, now Chris has proposed one, Vortex is approving it, or he's rejecting it, all these things, it's cool to do that in a demo environment. And then we show like, hey, this is a Giveth DAC, this is the DAP node, and this works, this is there. And you end on that to show this is now live, we're there.
I suggest to move this conversation to later.
Yeah.
Once we have the campaigns ready, which is the deadline is for Monday.
Yeah.
The DACs, the campaigns, the milestones.
We're running as well.
We can try to do 2 presentations, one with the alpha, the other one with, or the alpha data, the other one without, and we'll see how it goes. Which one is better, which one we choose.
Okay.
But like, let's not do a double if you're gonna decide in the end that you don't want, that you really want DAC. What do you think?
No, in the end, it's Voitech's call. This is Voitech's
And what-
micro.
what do you think about the idea?
I would recommend that we stick with the ones we have, but like, and make those look nice anyway, you know, because we need those to look nice. But in the end, it's what does Wojtek feel most comfortable. If Wojtek gets up there and he's like, the whole time he's thinking, man, I should have been using the other one, then like that's the biggest problem, you know. So like, you know, whenever that's why presenters got to write their own presentation.
Yeah, I would in general, I would just be honest, right? Because they are specifically asked us not to use any like proof of concept, like, you know, like screenshots or anything like that, that we should show what we have.
But
So
that is
let's show
showing
what we have.
Yeah.
But showing a demo of the actual thing that works is not a screenshot. It's the actual live project.
True.
So that's a demo.
It's just
Demo
data
dummy
for the
data
population
is-
Yeah.
of
I would
Facebook
say.
data.
It's demo data for a demo, which kind of
Well,
makes sense to me.
I think that if you were presenting to a different audience, it would make sense to populate it with dummy data, but since it's a developer conference, it's a bunch of nerds that want to see like the
Yeah.
And we're promoting ourselves.
Yeah.
It's cross promotion, right?
Yeah.
And
If
also
we
can
can
see, oh, these people were contributors and they actually got a milestone because they went and they did this.
Yeah, we can show off Dean's milestone for the Wall of Fame, and then show him his on the Wall
That
of
would
Fame.
require
Yeah.
them to be there already.
Yeah. Well,
that
for
time.
me, that's
Hint,
why
hint.
you indeed see what works. But what you could indeed do is like you show our DAP node and you show the Giveth DAC. But for the like proposing stuff and actually doing it all, If you then
I mean,
switch me to the demo data, it could work easier.
we're going to, I think we're just going to clone anyways. Even if we do the live data, we're just going to clone them so that, you know,
That we don't mess up
we
our
don't mess
milestones.
anything.
Did they say anything about whether we can use test RPC? Or Ganache or whatever?
I mean, I'm pretty sure we can do anything we want, but we shouldn't use test RPC because if we use Rinkeby, it's like, hey, look, this is on Rinkeby, and look how fast this is actually working.
I mean, for the depth part, this is also amazing because we're talking about making migration soon once we create the bridge. So we can just try and do migration right now for a demo.
Yeah. Okay, but we should definitely move on.
Yeah.
Either way, you guys that's in progress.
Yes.
Effective altruism, San Francisco, I've made that on hold.
You made what?
I put that as on hold.
No feedback whatsoever from them? You checked your mail, nothing? That's too bad. Okay.
EIP 0 is, we're having a meeting with them tomorrow night, and we're consistently working on it. I got Nick Johnson to come, and at the research, I just think it's a really cool place to hang out, especially for our devs, and if we have something really cool, we should post on there. That's all. At Commons, Kai maybe?
No, there's no news. But did you talk to Reese? No.
No, not yet.
Okay.
Okay.
But I'm definitely considering inviting him.
Sure, just say hello if you talk to him, and like it's always good to hear from each comment. It's getting quiet. I think he needs help, and it would be nice to.
He brought out.
I'm gonna say hello.
It'd be nice to get him on our Slack so he could talk about Commons in like social code.
He is on Riot.
Yeah, sorry, on Riot.
But he's not often there. Yeah, that's true. But he did see when we posted his meeting post, etc. And he reacted. So he's alive.
He's alive. Funds to apply to.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask there, Bowen, because I saw actually that Reese added some comments there, and for some other things that we could apply to talking about Reese. I don't know if you saw that in the documents. This link? It's in the communication, Brian. Sorry, what did you say, Bowen?
I said I'm checking it.
Okay.
Here, we'll come back to it.
Okay.
Because these next things are all on hold. Manifesto, Hero DAC, and MyCrypto.
Well, on hold, it was on hold, but so we discussed it now. What I'm gonna add to it is that, so Bowen actually it's something that maybe because we'll see if Yoder has time to work on it, but I really would like to crowdsource this also with Griff's input, of course, like how do we see our manifesto, and now actually in the meeting with Aragon, they're also writing on what their values are and how they see things, and they're gonna share this with us, so it's gonna inspire us too.
Do we wanna like just start it from our end?
Yeah, I would start.
About, like bridging the manifesto.
I would start from our end. We're a separate community anyway.
It's best if we have both, and then
see if something that we can improve on either side. What did you want to say?
I actually think everybody should write one.
Yeah. Everyone separately.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
I mean, we could, you know.
It's a lot of homework.
We can ask.
I mean, it's like if you're gonna make a document like this, it better be good.
Yeah.
You know.
And at least it will have something from everyone. Like,
right.
I would suggest reading the Declaration of Independence and the German Constitution. Huh?
How about the Magna Carta?
And the Magna Carta. No, it was no joke. That's the best document I know for that kind of stuff.
I knew the Swarm City Manifesto.
It's the highest worth is the worth of the individual or human, like the.
Yeah. You should just copy pasta from this.
It's really not like that's what I'm. Years ago, I was saying like, why is nobody just as an experiment making an open constitution that like poor countries that cannot like pay the lawyers to like sit around for decades. Yeah.
So are some people up to write? Do we create one document? I would say I'm maybe just gonna create one document, and if you wanna just put your own list, then you just paste it in there or something. Then we at least publicly see that people are working on it or something.
Yeah,
My concern is.
Yeah, I think we're gonna say the same thing. I think it's better if people don't look at each other's documents first, and they come up with something, and then once you've written a manifesto, you can see the others. That gets a little game theory fun too. If
Yeah.
you want to read others' manifesto, you better
You gotta
write
unlock
something.
it. Yeah.
Okay,
I'm
cool.
all about that. And then the thing is, you're never gonna get like if you have one unified document, the second that an idea has been written down, you have one way to say that idea.
Yeah.
If everybody's doing it separately, not only do you see that 8 people think that that thing's worth saying, but you get 8 different ways to say it.
I love it. Yeah. So how we could maybe help kick this off is that we write down a number of questions. Like this is what we would like to see answered, something like that. Like how do you, what are like our main values, or what do you find very important for Giveth that.
And this could also be a community, an open to the community thing.
Oh yeah, definitely. I would just share it and
Yeah.
ask contributors and communication, like give us create
Right.
documents.
Right, give us manifesto.
Yeah, and get points.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So that is that one. Yeah. Next.
So we had a great conversation with Give Directly on the phone. They did send an email. I haven't had a chance to even look at it.
You can forward it to me if you don't find it.
Yeah, I'm sure I will find the time after today. And after today, most of the meeting stuff is over, so
Yeah.
things get chiller. But I think that we're gonna have. I think they were really. Give Directly was really open to give it, so
Yeah.
that's really good.
They felt very actually. That's the thing I had, that they were quite aligned also in values. I've been on other, like the call that I had with the consensus people. This is completely different. They were like asking real questions and
Yeah.
like this is what we find important. And it was transparency, accountability. So it was very linked. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
And so they wanted, one of the next steps is that they wanted to have a demo to feel even better what we're about. So that's one of the things coming up. Yeah.
Open Source Block Explorer, we're going to have another meeting, I assume probably at 7 o'clock this Friday. But I have to do the doodle.
No. You have to do the what?
A doodle to see what time everyone wants to do it.
Okay. Griff, do doodle. Do doodle and call next Friday. Okay, yeah?
Yeah.
You need
Are
Lindsay.
you going to write that down?
You're missing Lindsay
Yeah.
here.
Do you have your laptop? Is it still being worked on?
But I wrote it down in the sheet in any case. But
if you can just take notes somewhere, because I have a feeling I'm going to have a few more to-dos come out.
yeah, he needs his PA actually.
That's not a,
Okay.
Lorelai's is slowly becoming a Lindsay as well. I have 2 PAs.
Yeah, we're the second PA.
Yeah.
Okay, reward DAO. So I just added that one because I think it's a good one to have in there every time.
Make it do.
So we dished the points for this month. The new one started, and Linz is now chasing everyone to make videos by probably the end of this week.
Reward now videos.
Yeah. So I already told her that she can start chasing them. I published it in contributors so people know.
Oh, you
that.
said how much everyone's got?
I
Nice.
tagged everyone so they know it. But I reminded them again to make a video, and Linz is gonna follow.
Another thing we need to remember to do, and it's on governance, so when I say we need, I mean me. We need to tell people when they get paid. Like they do get an email that says, hey, your milestone was approved. If they actually signed up for our website and gave us their email.
Yeah.
So a lot of times we're paying people, they don't even know that they got paid.
But they're not even.
Not just reward DAO, other contributors
Yeah.
and like long-term payouts. Like if we're giving someone money, we should probably tell them, hey, guess what? Give us just threw you some cash.
Yeah, and reward DAO definitely they don't get an email because it's Linz making a milestone.
Yeah. Well, they would get an email if they actually came to our website and made a user profile, because the recipient gets an email,
Oh yeah, that way.
but they have to actually come to the website and make a profile.
But until now, could they make a wallet and a profile without? You
Yeah.
didn't need to be whitelisted.
But they would need to upload their key to our DAO, and that's the big
Yeah.
step. That's like, I don't even want to ask someone to do that.
Yeah. So for the moment, that's not happening. But it's good then.
But we should chase them down.
And you could indeed then ask Lindsay that every time the payout happens, that she also wants the people for now.
But I might put that on speedy payouts, Bowen and Lorelei.
You could do that. Yep.
Because who doesn't like,
Seems like it's part of the deal.
yeah, who doesn't like telling people that they just got paid?
Yeah.
Do we make everyone happy?
Yeah. I don't know, would you be interested in doing that, Bowen? Like reaching out to the people on Riot and telling people, yo, Giveth just gave you some cash?
Yeah, sure. I don't see why not. I was just typing in the chat
Yeah.
that if you have email alerts set up for your address on Etherscan, you get an email automatically when you get Ethers.
You can, yeah.
With the exception of when it's a contract thing.
Which, all of these are internal, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, which is why I saw the one payment come in and not the other, and I got confused and had to ask you about it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, that's awesome. Yeah, there should be a way to do that as long as their email is associated with their address in the document.
What we actually have is their matrix ID, so it'd be more through Riot.
Okay.
So you'll be able to inform yourself next time that you got paid out and not be confused.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, and maybe you and Laura can figure out how to split that or something. So RSK, Riot migrate on wiki on hold. RSK discussion, we actually had a big call with them, and I think that we should be pushing it to make a bridge between Bitcoin and Ethereum. The first draft being let's bridge RSK to. So this is how I see this roadmap: bridge RSK to Rinkeby via the Ghetto Bridge, which is the centralized bullshit that we come up with that is not a real bridge at all, but proof of concepts, and just go for it. And I think that we can do that, and I think they'd be open to that, and it'd take minimal effort on their side once we have it working for us anyway.
And is it okay? And what's the advantage for them?
The advantage for everybody is that we could actually use Bitcoins on Giveth.
Okay.
And Ethereum in general.
Okay, so then what happens, that is not a bridge to Ethereum because that's us holding the funds, right? We control the funds on RSK because we have the key that unlocks them in our bridge contract. So this would be a proof of concept, and it's some real bullshit, right? Like I wouldn't even want to promote it that much.
No.
But it's not like in the Bitcoin space. Like look what we just did.
We accept Bitcoin now.
It's like look, I wrote a piece of software that when I get a Bitcoin transaction, I send someone Ether. Like anyone can do that right now. Yeah, on the test net. Yeah, right. But I think it does open, like if we do implement that is like a good first step, and then we start looking at okay, parity. How do we get this for real? And honestly, if we can get a talk with Sergio, who is like the brain, and just like he's really a superstar in the crypto space, like that no one really talks about for some reason. Probably because he's not a Bitcoin maximalist, but at the same time, he is. It's kind of this weird thing, right? But he's a quiet guy, and he's a very important person, very cool guy. I want to meet. I'd love to talk with him and see where we can go with that. So, and Grace said that she's going to try to put us in touch.
Okay, cool. But if it's try to wrap it up. If it's not comms, just saying.
We're communicating with each other.
I know. Say it. Yeah, go ahead. It's comms. Yeah, it's comms in a way. Go ahead.
RSK is a federated peg. We can just create. We don't need to defederate the bridge mechanism because no matter what, it's the same trust model. So
we're still waiting for parity to finish it, though. So parity has to. When we're going to use our ghetto bridge, and then when parity finishes their bridge, we'll use that, which is a federated peg on both sides. And with RSK, we could build a different federation than what we have for Ethereum. You know, we can have two different bridges, basically, and that would work great. And I think that would be the direction. And then we have a federated peg to Ethereum, which would be really sexy. And also, people would be able to use that for a lot of things outside of Giveth.
Yeah, in theory, it should stabilize the two currencies' value, right?
I don't know about that.
No, I don't think so. Because you actually can't deposit Bitcoin and withdraw it as an Ether outside. We're not an exchange. We're just really what you deposit on one side, only that you can withdraw.
But you can, because there's Ether Delta.
Yeah, but that wouldn't stabilize the markets. That's not how it works. Like basically, you can deposit, right now you can do that in a centralized way. That doesn't stabilize the market. All it would allow is decentralized exchanges with Bitcoin on them. And who doesn't want that, right? Okay, but that's probably enough on RSK. It is something that comms should be aware of and watch.
Yeah, definitely.
It's pretty big.
Yeah, and they might suddenly communicate on it as well. So we need to stay in the loop so that we.
Yeah. And they're hard to stay in the loop with.
Yeah.
Their Gitter is very active, but that's like the only thing I see from them comms wise.
Okay.
And I don't know if they know, like, there seems, I was jumping up and around in their Gitter a while ago, and it did not seem that it was communicated to their full team that we were doing any sort of anything. So I don't know what the deal there is.
Yeah, I mean, I've been trying to get them in the open source block explorer discussions, and it's just like talking to a wall.
Right.
So
I was just trying to get like test risk. Took me like a week.
Anyway,
not very open. Okay,
so,
next.
Social Alpha, there's no progress. I mean, nothing big going on, just small communications.
Okay.
But still in contact with them. Speedy payments, we're about to do that after this, so that's really exciting. Quasia, it didn't work this week, right, Quasia?
I have
the cron job. What?
The cron job didn't work because Infura updated their the version of the parity client that they're running, so it no longer allows net version. So I had to switch from I just switched the WebSocket that I was. This isn't important.
No,
there is a triple check sheet up
Yeah.
for us to check. There's two though, because the tool is capped at 30 per multi-sig action.
Oh wow, we had 30 this
We
week?
had like 40.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's gonna take some time to prove.
We need actual pay. 37 2 weeks ago. Go for it. 2 in a row.
Okay, next. Yeah, that's me. The next one that's on hold.
Although I don't get points for that anymore.
Che is working. Che is working for Jordy right now.
Oh yeah, that's.
She came in. Yeah, that TXELL is Che. Like Texel Guevara, right?
Okay,
Like,
Che. That's how you pronounce it.
Che, yeah.
Okay.
So I know. Oh, Catalan. So Che is awesome. If you see her walking around, she's this cute young girl who is going to be doing everything for Jordy. About 3 hours a week, and just checking his emails, social media. Onboarding's working well. I think Jordy is happy about it. So.
Did she do his riot communication too?
Yep, she's gonna do his riot. She is.
Telegram and single.
Hi, this is Jordy. Hi, Jordy.
No, she's gonna read and tell Jordy, and then Jordy's gonna have to decide whether or not he wants to respond.
Oh, but it sounds like more work than actually doing it yourself.
Yeah, well, hopefully that's the route we're going.
But I think that part of the way that his blocking mechanism works is that if he hears something, I think that there's more pressure, like he wants to respond to it.
Yeah.
So he ignores things so that he won't
be involved.
So he's gonna get pulled into so much more bullshit.
No. Well, but he's gonna get it all at once.
Yeah.
And he'll be like, oh,
That's
I can only pick one or two.
Okay. Yeah.
So they're gonna have a call every day, because right now we're missing so many opportunities for audits and things like that.
Stuff.
Yeah.
So like, a lot of them are just gonna be like, oh yeah, just forward that to Griff.
Right.
You know, just tell Griff.
Okay.
How much do we have left?
Yeah. Well, we've been almost an hour on golf, so I hope we can close. Yeah, we've been going for an hour, so let's get to the next one. Sorry.
Okay, so Wall of Fame, Dean.
Yeah.
What's the status on Wall of Fame?
Yeah, so I think as it is now, it's really reliable.
Yeah?
You can upload videos and it works. And right now I'm also looking at rewriting some of the, you could call it foundation of the React application. So we can have so we can share links and then have like previews on Twitter and Facebook. That's what Chris wants.
Yeah.
And yeah, and also it's also a good, yeah, right now I'm making a boilerplate for that, so a project where we can use this for Wall of Fame, but also maybe other future projects for, yeah, we
For
can
Giveth.
use.
Oh,
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah, eventually it'll end up in the DApp, right?
Perhaps, yeah.
That is the beauty of having React one system and just components that you can reuse, yeah.
Okay, next one, Exchange Hack, any update there? What was that again? Oh yeah, yeah, so that was one that we wanted to ask you, Bowen, if you had time to do this. So maybe you can explain briefly what it is about.
Yeah, do you remember this, Bowen?
No, he wasn't there.
Alexi, you met Alexi last year, right, with a guy with dreads? He's had a baby, which is cool. Yeah.
Did you tell him Kai's having a baby?
Yeah, and by the way, you missed the big news earlier. Kai is pregnant. No.
Kai's
It is.
But on topic, so basically Alexi found a bug in the way a lot of exchanges process transactions.
Yes, I remember hearing about that. We were talking about it at one point. So
Yeah.
do you want me to write an article about it and interview him?
Yeah, we absolutely could. That's definitely,
Yeah.
I'll put that on the stack.
yeah, it's a low priority, but it's definitely on the stack. You could put it in anywhere. It's really cool, and Giveth had a hand in it. I basically lost like a day and a half trying to find every exchange that existed and send them an email. So, and Lorelei has spent so many hours aggregating this list of all the exchanges. So, like, there's value in people knowing that the White Hat Group and Giveth have a list of every exchange if there's ever an issue.
Awesome.
Okay. So next one, the DApp. Normally we're going to do an AMA with charities this week in Barcelona, but we missed you, so we didn't plan it. So I brought up first to have reaction of the people who wanted to be on the AMA for a time, but nobody filled it in, and that's where it ended. So I think I'm going to set up a Lumio. That was feedback of the people to change it to Lumio because it's more social pressure for people to actually fill it in. And then
Okay, can we do a 2-week notice on that one? On the first one at least?
I don't know, I have to like
also because you're traveling,
figure out
because
what
we have at CC coming up.
what I'm gonna do with that.
No, but
Or I
like
can
in
do
general,
like
because we want
well yeah, I have a
charities to
VM.
know about it.
I'm still in the process of installing mine.
Yeah,
Okay,
definitely.
switch.
So
You know, if we're going to decide we're going to do it
That would
tomorrow
be a
right
good
now,
no, I
it's not
know.
gonna fly.
But
right?
this has been up there, of course, for 2 weeks. That's the thing.
Keto Max, okay.
But maybe in 3 weeks then, because the week when we're at Toronto, in 2 weeks is a bit difficult. So a week after Toronto, and then we set up. And what do you want to do in the AMA? Are we also going to give a demo then, or just answer questions, or do you like?
We have demo as a backup.
Things with the permissions.
It's
It's like
really
that's what I
AMA.
found.
Yeah.
So there's no question.
Yeah. Okay, so I create a new Lumio, and then we do this.
Windows.
Okay, communities into the demo app.
Oh, see, you got it down there too.
Did I put this in here? Oh yeah, that's actually, it's the demo for Toronto, for Adcon Toronto actually. So that's what we talked about. Toronto demo on Monday, deadline Monday. Yeah, maybe we can switch back, Griff, from your audio in a sec. To switch back the audio to me so that Bowen can understand us.
Or rotate the screen and
Yeah, we can do that too. Yeah, because you're, I don't know, I don't care. Thanks. can you still hear us? Okay, cool. Hang on, we can. What did you say? Sorry. If we can chat after, is that what you said?
Yeah, but there are like 3 areas.
Oh, fucking hell.
Yeah.
This is not going well. Sorry.
Can't hear anything. I put it in the type.
Now it works. So, you said, hey, can we make a subsheet on here about the articles that need to be written for Medium and who they're assigned to, which will likely be me. Yeah. Well, actually, when for the moment they're per circle, and so when we go through this, we got a bit so long on above, but we still have a list of Medium posts coming up, and I hope we'll get there because we have not a lot of time left. So that right. Yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was just
Okay. So for the that white paper, Wojtek and I just had a call with Parker, who joins today, and he's gonna create an outline for a that white paper. And Wojtek has a follow-up call on this for a demo, for example, amongst others, Saturday. So that is actually not the one that is Parker and then next one, GitHub issue lists. So that one is gone actually. So we had, I think, one person who did the demo, who did the vote. No, I'm losing my focus. There was one person who filled in.
Two people filled in the whole sheet, and then like 5.
No, even Tay did one.
There you go.
Lots of people did.
Yeah. Okay.
Like 2 or 3 people filled in the whole sheet, and then like 5 or 6 total did the top 20.
Oh, nice. So that's more people added. So
There now.
So Griff, me and you maybe we can give some points to those people who did that because I kind of promised that.
Oh yeah.
For like sorting GitHub issues to be done. Okay, so that hopefully that will help you, Wojtek.
Yeah, sure.
Onboarding React devs. This is done, I see. How is this again? Oh yeah, so that's done. Products outside, that one was on hold. Product survey and testing planning. Wojtek, anything there?
What? Which one?
Product survey and testing planning? No.
Before I
Template for milestones, yeah, so we just had a meeting on that one. So Wojtek is gonna make a new smart contract outline for that one, right?
Well, more like a whole sort of more automated system / proposal for a smart contract.
Yeah, that's for you to know. Good to know as well, Kwasya. He's gonna write a spec proposal sheet for create a smart contract for a template for the milestones, so that. Well, how is the end? You can explain better.
No.
Shut up.
Basically, I think that Rewardo is mature enough so that we could consider automating it and basically just write a smart contract for that because that's the end goal.
Yeah, we're building basically the stuff we need to do that. Yeah, it's the idea is we can integrate a front end for the DApp with it too, but the grant
I was
is
like,
for
I was more like, you know, we're going to collect the data and then we're just going to generate the milestones rather than creating them manually.
That was the idea.
That was the main idea, and I just offered that I can write the specs for it, and that's my
So we dish points, we vote on the points, and then automatically the milestones are created with a link to the video and all these things. To the wall of fame, etc. In a milestone.
okay.
Maybe we can talk about it after the meeting.
Yeah, I'm down to. Yeah, we should talk about it.
Yeah.
We gotta figure out what the easiest way to do that is. Is there gonna who would it be on for like Because I would assume like if you have the right now Feathers is caching the milestone descriptions, right? We're not putting that on chain.
No.
So if you want to develop a contract to automate the generation of milestones for reward DAO recipients, it would make sense that you either need to use some sort of database layer, or you would need to be storing those description strings and all those things either on IPFS or on chain.
Yeah.
So from a technical point, I don't know. It's something we should have a meeting. We should just schedule a meeting and talk about it, because I can talk about this for a while. I'm very interested in doing that. Yeah.
Okay. That's why I also asked, like, for social coding, if you're scheduling a new projects onboarding thing, because that could be one of the projects.
Oh yeah.
Well, and we talked about the integration point spot helping with that as well.
Yeah,
Yeah, let's
They're
talk
all
about
sort of like different parts of the same.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all just the
It could be
same.
cool
We've got
though if
some
we're all trying to solve
weird
the same
Dow
problem,
Frankenstein.
Dow Frankenstein.
Dankenstein.
Yeah. It's a whole different thing.
Okay, so then what's else? Oh yeah, what's happening? So the next one, the new one just went out.
What's happening?
Anything else we need to know about that one?
It's great. Go read it. And also, we got a lot of shares on Twitter because that Carlos Matos meme is fire.
Oh yeah.
They love it. Oh yeah, I got like 6 retweets.
I haven't been on Sprout Social
Yeah.
before for the last 2 days.
All my crypto Twitter enthusiasts, they're like, "This is great." I'm like, "Did you read it?" Like, I'm not important. But the memes.
The memes.
But it was good because we got it clarified this week with Wojtek, and now it's got like the best of both worlds, I think, like silly stuff and technical stuff.
Yeah, that's for both kind of people. Okay, Giveth Origins, that one is a low priority. Then Blockchain for Humanity, so that was the thing you were talking about. We had for that one a discussion with Sedum. Have you already talked about Sedum now?
I didn't see Sedum on the list.
Yeah, it's here actually. Because Taylor also wants to help with this. But Sedum, when did we have a call? My brain is getting fried.
Day before yesterday.
And what was the outcome again out of that one?
They're gonna push till May 1st. They're hoping to get us going on some kind of like sprint to raise money for, and they want to just work with us on branding.
And they're running with it. We started a comms channel, and we're gonna
Right.
wait to hear from them.
I had like a small brain freeze here. So it's happening. It's like the raffle thing, and they have they want to launch in 2 weeks, but that was a bit.
We said that's I mean after the meeting. We said it's a tight timeline, but you let us know.
Yeah. But they I told them during the meeting as well, so we'll see what they come. They didn't even like communicate yet in the riot room, so I think they're just ambitious, which is good. Blockchain for social impact. Yeah, I still have to send them, so we're not on the website yet, but that's a little thing. Bring back the unicorns. So that actually is done, because for the rest it's just going to be part of the creative briefing. Business cards, Lansky did a great job really contacting everyone, even people not working for Giveth anymore, to ask if they want to do an update to their business cards. And I think almost everyone responded, so people who are here who haven't responded to Lansky's mail about the business cards, please do so. And then we can print them. So
he wanted to give me an update on that last week, and so.
Well, yeah, the thing is, the business cards designs are ready. We just now have to decide how we're gonna print them, and who's gonna print them, and where we're gonna send them, and all that shit. So I will discuss then later, maybe if we can, how we can do this. Done now. Send out. Yeah, or print. Now print. Comes on GitHub, so yeah, that's on hold. Giveth Galaxy. Yes, so for that, I wanted to actually ask you, Bowen, as well, if you would have time for this. So there's the idea here, so there's 2 stories in here. First of all, there's the Giveth Galaxy article, what is the bigger story of what Giveth is about, and you watched my presentation. So I was thinking for that one, maybe just writing out of the presentation, and then also checking Griff's presentation if there's anything missing, and then adding that, but it doesn't need to be too long, it just have to it just has to explain, these are our 4 circles, this is how we work, this is like our bigger thing, and it would be really good to have this. To me, this is more important than some of the other things on the list. So it's not a low priority for me because it's going to help us a lot if we can explain like this. These are our 4 circles, because we all have it in our head, but for the outside world, it's not clear that we're more than just to give it that, and it's time to write this down. So if you would be willing to take that up. Yes?
On the list, and I'm adding a priority column to this thing.
Yay, cool.
So,
thanks.
yeah, no problem.
And then a second one, because now I can send you the link. If I don't send me a reminder. Cleo already wrote like the first version of this, but the biggest thing that she put in there is the Manon story that Griff gave at in Paris. But how I was thinking now is that it would be cool that we have the Manon story with all the great visuals that were made, that this is a separate Medium post explaining this is an example of how Giveth could work. And then we link from the Giveth Galaxy when you talk about okay, this is a depth circle all out, then we can link to some YouTube videos, to the Manon story and so on. So that's the second story. I would also rename Manon to something more generic now that it's not
Manny.
Good old Manny.
Yeah, go ahead.
He's got a question.
Oh, you're talking about, okay, it took me a long time to remember, you're talking about the use case photographer in his presentation. All right, cool.
And I'll send you the link of that text that Cleo already, Griff already had it written out, and Cleo put it in another Google Doc with some other thoughts, so I'll send you that draft. But I would say, as said, start with the presentation. I wrote and like type that out in your own fantastic Bowen way, and then another separate Medium post is the Manon story with all the visuals that we have in Griff's presentation, and I'll also send you these visuals. Well, in Griff's and the other's presentation.
I just like Legos.
Yeah, that made everything so nice, right? Those Lego guys.
I was just ripping off whoever makes Legos, Matiko or something. Copyright.
Okay, so that one is Bowen will take that one up. So I'll send it to you. Then the Giveth Vision. This is another one, Bowen, but maybe like I would say like we already have a Giveth Manifesto now. You're gonna work on our Giveth Galaxy, so these are already 2 important ones. I put this one as a separate one, and that is the idea of like how are we gonna, as an organization, how do we translate towards the outside world? But I think if we start with our Giveth Manifesto, that can be based upon that. But the thing that you see in here are 2 links to other people's like vision, because Grace asked yesterday, what is Giveth's vision? And so that is not exactly the same as the manifesto. The manifesto is more like new people come in the team, so that's like inside, and to the outside, like what is the Giveth vision? And that is an article in itself. So that one, and so I talked about it with Wojtek as well, and there's a link to, how is your
Well, manifesto is also outside. MSF has a great manifest.
Yeah, so
almost all the charities where it's like really well defined what is and what is not part of like the core values, and what is what sort of projects would be possible and which one wouldn't.
Yep, and for that I also put the status wiki in there, the thing that that Jared mentioned, because they also have like these vision points in their wiki. And so that can also, but so I'll put this one on hold until we have the crowdsourced manifesto ready. The join page, so Lansky is on this Mexico event. Yeah, so they wanted to have feedback by yesterday on this one. So I don't know if you guys saw this, Griff and Quasia, if you would like to fund Healer as well.
Yeah, I saw that. I think we need like someone who can speak Spanish though.
So I arranged a translator, my friend who lives in Mexico City, and she said she would translate for Alex and I, if we were going. If you want.
So you could go up and talk, and then
she could translate to
in
Spanish
in real time, like be able to.
Yeah, she's like super fluent in English. So I put that in the document as well, just to note. But if you're looking for a native speaking Spanish speaker, obviously, yeah.
Well,
That
I would
be
at least open it up, but that doesn't mean you guys still can't go and be a part of it. I mean, yeah, we were invited. This is in fact, was this a status conference?
Yeah, I think it was.
Being hosted by Status. So.
It doesn't say anything about that in the message that you posted.
I have the mail here. It's okay.
Yeah, I might not have been in the message, but
Okay,
it's from
so
a
yeah, I
Status
didn't know then.
person. But yeah, I mean, I
put it
think
together.
I'm always down to support that, and I
Eduardo.
definitely want to get
That's a
you
really
public doing
accessible
public speaking together.
opportunity.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
So.
That would be like, that's where I was thinking like it'd be a good like, in point, and I could start and help having Alex's technical support as well.
So do we fund all four of us, all four circles, or who wants to fund? I fund. I put my hand up. I want to fund.
Yeah. I mean, give us always down, or sorry, government's always down to throw money at things.
All right. Do you also want to fund Yaler to go to Mexico and talk about Giveth in translation?
Would you also stay in Mexico for a little bit and hang out and make it like worth it to
Yeah,
be
probably
flown
like
down?
a week maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you want an infinity pool? Do you want that?
I mean, yeah, if that's the Giveth standard, then I'll just go with what's
I
standard.
saw that on drone footage.
Prostitution is generally like at least 2 nights a week, right? You're away from your family now.
Wojtek, you want to sponsor Yaler as well?
I can't make that decision.
You can't make it.
That's a team decision.
Is it a team decision?
Yeah, it is.
That's
Oh,
an
I just
interesting
decided on my
governance
own.
method.
Well, yeah, because like other stuff are also other trips from the dev team are like sponsored just by the dev team, right?
Yeah, no, that's a good point.
I'll ask.
Well, and if you don't, I think even with free, I think we can give a goal in that we can say that because they wanted feedback yesterday, so we'll reply to that. Later.
I think there was. I just put it up. I didn't put a deadline, but we should.
No, there isn't a deadline from them. That's right.
Okay. We should get it straightened out. Yeah. Oh, they did.
Yeah, Eduardo from Status asked to get feedback by yesterday. That's why I was pushing it a bit.
But me personally, I'm not against. Okay.
Yeah.
Just saying that.
Yeah, because they are going to talk about the DAP actually.
Exactly.
Well, yeah, if the debt throws down money, it's going to.
Well, otherwise it's like you have three great circles.
Yeah.
And then one other one.
Like
Yeah.
articles.
This is so
Right.
much
Social
fun.
coding,
Thank you.
governance
No,
and initiative.
I like to
events.
read
projects.
Yeah.
with the pizza.
Okay, newsletter subscription that's Kate was looking into
That one's not even that
optimizing
interesting.
YouTube, that's
It's
actually kind of
it's a layman.
done.
Just checking in.
Reddit, Instagram,
I'm
Facebook,
looking. I'm not even
you
reading.
said, I sent you some pictures.
Yeah.
Yaler is gonna comment on some shit so that he can boost his comment karma because he has 0 comment karma but a lot of post karma now. So
I have
that's a
like
start.
40 karma now.
Yeah, that's really good. But so that's ongoing actually. Then see the this here anyway separately. Team collaboration, so we just talked about that. So launch in 2 weeks. I'm just gonna put this here for now. Then SEO, that's on hold. Team video is done. I just have to pay Joanna and Joshua. And then template for presentations, that's done. Website and Giveth that's on hold. Transparency, oh that's something that Kate was, Lansky. Oh yeah, Lansky was gonna write a post on our transparency. What? And then Virgin, someone mentioned in random or someone of somewhere like Virgin Mobile funding, was it me?
I put us up for a Virgin Mobile funding grant.
Yeah.
Because Richard Branson likes charities, and I was like, well, I should apply for this for sure.
And
It was like a non-investor thing, like.
but if you want to do that seriously, Parker writes grants for professionally, so he writes grants proposals.
This was like not. There was like no option to give. It was like give 3 points and make sure it's under 500 words. And I was like, I mean, it was just like this
Okay,
tiny.
and you
text
submitted
box.
it.
I submitted it.
Oh,
But we could
fantastic.
also, I could give you a link and we could all submit, like in like multiple. And I was like, yeah, this would be relative to what they were saying. So yeah, we'll see.
Did you add memes?
No, there was no text drop box.
Damn.
I couldn't just invite Giphy to the room. So.
Okay.
Can we just start branding all of our stuff with Virgin Mobile?
Virgin Mobile. We sponsor.
Sponsored by
Aragon
Virgin
Mobile.
Okay, then that one is on hold. Yes, because I have to do that. Oh yeah, and then Lansky did the Google Drive, and then he was working on GitHub, but I don't know if it already got merged. Do you know, Kai? If the visual identity for GitHub, if the folder got merged already, or if Lansky was still working on it.
Oh yeah, he was merging some. I did not look at what it was.
But he told me it wasn't completely finalized, but I haven't heard from him.
The thing is, he always also wanted to take part in this GitHub thing, which did not take place yet.
Okay.
We'll make
Do
it
you
happen.
don't give me that look.
You were 10 minutes late. I had to go.
Yeah, and then you were late. So wow. Okay. No, we're gonna do it this weekend.
Yeah, we're gonna do it this
Okay,
day.
so it's coming
will be
up.
Fine.
Wiki Open Graph Guy. So you're gonna check in for Kate was
The
gonna help you.
same thing. Like that was gonna spawn off that session. And
Right. Yeah. But Kate did join you, right? Or not? Someone joined you.
she did, but we did not go through the whole thing.
Yeah, because no one was there. So we'll do it again. Okay.
Yeah.
That's on hold. At Swarm Meetup. So you told me you were probably not gonna go, right? The one in Ljubljana.
I don't think so. I'll be straight back from Toronto.
Okay, so that's done.
I really wanted to post it if somebody
Yeah,
was.
nobody picked it up, so nobody
Okay.
picked it up. Then I have an extra one, Bowen, so maybe it's again for you or for Lansky or either, whoever wants to. Writing interviews, so if you look at, I put one in there, Aragon, and I've seen it already pop up a few times, we're about the people, we're in DAC, and Theo wanted to do that before that, is that we just do an interview like, why are you here? Why are you in Giveth? And just like with the main unicorns, like do an interview and write a text with them, like what
What is
the
a
question-
main unicorn? Is a regular award out?
No, not even. It's not that
Official?
It's like people who are up for an interview and are doing, for the moment, working for Giveth, I would say, and who are up to that and have something meaningful to say, even if it's just meaningful.
And what does it look like? A text document or?
It's if you look at the one that I put in here, I'm gonna like put it on there. So Aragon created like 8 or 9 of these, and it's just a really nice picture that can be taken by one of our home photographers, and it's like.
Oh, blah.
Bam. So team interviews, and this is with their product manager, and it's loading slowly, and they all have these very nice. You see, and it's like the team interviews, and then they have like just a number of questions that they ask, like what is your background, why do you find it important to change the future of giving, and this and that, and it's just a really nice thing. And I think even if it just goes really slowly over the time of a year. It's good to have people's sentiment about what Giveth is to them. I think it's a nice way to again dish out points and give people writing credit. What do you think, Grace?
Mm-hmm. They specifically do these at regular intervals too.
Really?
So they've
It's like
never
a
done
series.
batches. Yeah, they come
It's a
out like every
series.
2 to 4 weeks.
They come
And-
out with the whole team, the different questions every time, or it's like a few team members?
It's it's generally one team member, and the questions are sort of like a little bit tailored to the person, but the real takeaway is you're trying to understand that person's ideology.
Okay.
It's like that's the core of it. It's not as much like their development background. It's like
That's
you know
I was
what
gonna say.
challenges brought them to this space.
It would be
like,
less interesting
it's
to hear
very
about your
human.
history, but more
Yeah.
interesting to hear about your thoughts and your ideation on why you're in this space. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Okay,
that.
that could be cool. Yeah.
So I'm happy you are here. Because I should explain that way better. Because I haven't read it
A
yet.
headshot and a cover letter. That's what I'm gonna put up.
But yeah, it's indeed about the ideology and why you're in here. So yeah, whoever wants this, Bowen is this, and we can split it up. Either if you feel like doing interviews, Bowen if you feel like it, whoever wants to.
I mean, I'm not gonna nominate
I
Bo.
on the list of things that need to be done, but I haven't assigned myself to it yet, because I'd like to see how long the top priority stuff takes me to get done. But I mean, I can actually come up with sort of a boilerplate like questionnaire, and just when people feel like getting started on answering the questions in their own time, then I can put it together after everybody answers it. Because that quickly as people answer me. So that shouldn't be a problem.
Nice. Yeah. Well, indeed, it's not a high priority.
And also it could be a cool collaboration if you write the outline. I could do it for team members that are here or coming through as they're in Barcelona, and then transcribe like for you. Did you hear that? You look like. How about this? I can help. Okay.
Yeah.
I help.
Yeah, no, it's really bad mic and there's background noise that it's picking up. But it's cool if you indeed start with this, and Yiller just said that he can then when he's with the team locally, he can also write some of these. Okay. Cool. And we made it to the end of the list, exactly in 1 hour and a half, which is kind of okay then. Okay.
Skip check out. Let Bowen check out.
Yeah, Bowen, you can check out.
You can check out for all of us, please. Check out now.
My
I'm dying.
like, you can share the list of people with whoever. I was just adding the boilerplate questionnaire and the description and stuff on there, so we know, and I'll put Bowen and Yaler on there.
Perfect. Oops. Yeah. Okay. And I'll add that. I haven't done it yet. I'll add this as a fixed one in a communication circle. Your link to all the ongoing Medium posts list that you just created. Okay. So so then that's it for us. So check out from our side. Thank you, Bowen, for hanging in there with us through the long meeting and that sound quality. And yeah. And sorry you're not here. I hope you will be here next time. Go ahead. What did you say?
I think I have a great idea on how to fix that in the future, especially since you can call into Jitsi if you get one of those phones that they use for conference calls. Then that will solve the mic issue.
The tripod phone speaker thing.
Yeah.
I just need Cisco like.
It is actually a really good thing, Bowen. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe
we should probably get a conference for the.
Lindsay, we want like a conference call thingy.
Yeah.
So
Like
Logitech, it's for the Amazon list. Yeah.
That's really nice.
Okay. Thanks and see you next week.
I have to stick around for the rest of everything else that I have to do with them, so
Yeah.
I'll be here.
Yeah, right. But I'll kick you off this one because Griff has a better mic than I do.
Okay.
See ya.
See you in a sec, Bowen.
See you in a sec.
Yeah, just stay here, Bowen. Just stay here.
I stopped the stream. Goodbye.
We'll steal
Yeah,
their
stop the stream definitely. God, this is gonna be the worst stream ever.
I'm now.